It's Gamba time. See,
기분수가
isn't it great?
폭죽보다도 높이 솟아올랐어. 아니야, 이렇게 크게 웃으면 안 돼. 아름다움을 잃지 않게. 그리고 제2 권속으로서의 품.
Ooh. Oh my gosh! No! A faint smile appeared on Faust's lips for a moment before fading away. Oh, fuck! Dawn! No! No! Dawn! Please! Little Bean, please, Dawn, we can talk about this, please go back, Dawn, please, Dawn, please, Dawn, please.
I can't allow this.
Don Quixote. I thought her wounds were too severe for her to even crawl, let alone walk, but with sheer will, she just pushed herself through the pain to reach the freight car. You're not gonna continue reading?
There's the one line, there's the one line.
Oh.
Don's gonna Don.
What voice of mine is closest to Dawn's? Outside of Grammy, because Grammy's really hard to do with a serious expression.
I think Don's kind of her own voice.
I will not tolerate this. We cannot let this vile wretch live and turn a blind eye to everything that he's done.
Oh, that is my OBS screen, that is not my Limbus screen.
I care not. I would welcome the eons. Should it be eons of penance for thee, 'tis much preferable to letting thy villainy go unanswered. Let this place be the site of eternal judgment.
Faust and I grabbed Dawn. Normally she'd be strong enough to wiggle up our grips, but she already pushed herself beyond her limits merely by walking here.
Faust, unhand me! Thou mustn't let him live. Manager, Esquire!
Don Quixote let him destroy the key means he'll be condemning the sinners to thousands of years of torment.
Then I shall fill the millennia with tales of legend I had read in the magazines. No time, however infinite, shall be too great to overcome, should we endeavor as one. Then there has to be another way, no? Thou art both possessors of great wisdom, Faust, Manager, Esquire. Is there truly no path in which we may bring justice to the villain? All the sinners remain unharmed.
Her struggle begins to wane, but this was no acceptance, this was dejection. Wait, Don Quixote, no! In the commotion, we failed to notice that the Blood Fiend had been quietly advancing at us. We let Dawn go at the last second.
We were a second too late. Oh.
He did not.
I've always had this question swirling at the unfocused backstage of my mind. Why are you so active with those running shoes? Running shoes? Ah. Dost thou speak of our dear Rosiante? Yes. Those. Have battled through thick and thin, feast and famine, with dear Rosiante, in sorrow and in joy, no matter how... fuck. No matter the brutality of the trials that hath struck me, it hath been a loyal steed by my side, for however long it hath been in existence. He doesn't know when she got them. Manager Esquire, wherefore hast thou not saluted Rosiante as well? This may be a rather auspicious occasion to do so. I think I'm good. Be not so bashful. Go on ahead. Stinky they are not. Scuffed as they may appear, Rosiante is in pristine condition. Rosiante is in pristine condition, although thou shalt not address me as a small... Don't tell me you go to sleep with wearing those Rosiante. Oh, I have always been quite clear that someone so esteemed as the Manager Esquire would care to ask me how Rosiante fares. I mentioned that this question was inspired by numerous eyewitness reports from other sinners who saw her wandering the halls in her pajamas and wearing Rosiante. Verily, Rosiante and I remain bound together. Even in slumber, there shall be no separating the two of us. We are bound by not need nor want, we are simply bound together through plight and delight.
This is not Dawn at all. I can't do this, dude. I can't.
Just the Don thing.
I failed. I can't do this. The problem is I can't read this as Gremmy because it won't come through. The mic will just speak.
I mean, I guess.
Now that I think about it, every single identity of Don Quixote's was always wearing those pair of running shoes. Rosiante. Have you ever taken them off? Take them off? Why, whatever dost thou mean? As in detach Rosiante from my body, 'tis a very odd insinuation thou makest. She looks at me with puzzled eyes, as though taking those pair of running shoes off was somehow an inconceivable idea. Conceivable! They were something much more than just her favorite pair of running shoes. Her odd attitude of treating something so far removed from common sense as something completely inordinary. What does Rosiante mean to Don Quixote? What even is that thing? An overwhelmingly powerful pressure suddenly explodes, radiating in all directions. As the metallic stench of blood suffocates the bus, filling every corner with sickening horror, then darkness.
Oh, fuck!
In all-absorbing darkness, voice is our only...
You're telling me Dawn has a split personality? And the shoes is what keeps them captive? Oh, fuck, no, what, no,
I do think I saw a faint outline of an aura. I see a red aura, and a long fur adornment of sorts.
Through the shimmering aura, I think I saw eyes. Red eyes. You have committed the sin of idle transgressor. I know that voice, but I also don't. I've never heard it in such a low, imposing tone before. It speaks toward the lesser being. The blood fiend shriveled and kneeling, trembling, pathetic. Insolent worm. Crimson droplets of blood slowly rise around the blood fiend's mouth before congealing and sealing his mouth shut. No language worming its way out of your maw shall be worth my ears. No. To commit the sin of filial impiety by attempting to travel against the bloodstream, to commit such abomination against your ancestor, I cannot well sanction your impudence of continued existence. Coagulate, then melt away. Rapidly yet ponderously, like that ice cream Don Quixote loved so much, melting away on the floor, heated under the searing sun. Oh, Don Quixote turned to look at me, who was still on the ground after being hit by the shockwave. And with a cryptic look of pity, she uttered something. Indeed, you must be the promised timepiece. Then I understand. Rosciante, to me. I beseech you. I carefully reached out, grabbed her shoe, slipped them onto her bare feet one by one. She gasped, stumbled, and slumped onto the ground. Oh my... Oh my fucking goodness.
So yeah, this is a yeah. Yeah, she does do that occasionally.
So the artifact of becoming a normal person was real.
Don, the blood fiend. There was actually a crackpot theory not a lot of people subscribe to, but me and a couple of my friends saw and were like, that makes so much sense. And it was after To Claim Their Bones, people started realizing that Don might be a blood fiend.
So I knew from the IDs, obviously.
Yeah. But what we pieced together was that when asked what her favorite color was, she answered yellow. Oh no, red. And so that's whatever. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
And then there was that time. Do you remember? I can't remember her name, but the girl from the Blade lineage we find and take onto the bus.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
first, yeah.
her name.
Don checks her pulse from her forehead.
Oh my gosh, you're right! What the...
Don's ego inflicts bleed and then heals a % damage. So the second Blood Fiend showed up in this chapter when I was playing, I was like, this is it. This is when it comes up. This is what happens.
No, I'm more just amazed with the split personality aspect of the shoes. I know it's a weird stereotype. That's borderline controversial in some things. One of my favorite Danganronpa characters actually has the same issue. That's why I'm in shock right now. Toko, she's a an ultimate novelist, so she writes super sappy, romantic, stupid novels. I say stupid because cringe. But her alter ego, which is triggered by seeing blood, is like Jill the Ripper. So like Jack the Ripper, but a woman.
Yeah.
And like the alter ego is fucking insane, whereas like Toko, I think her name's Toko, it's been a while. Like normally herself, she's like very shy, skittish, she's kind of mean, she doesn't really like anybody. Wow. No, this was the plot twist I wasn't expecting. But I also haven't read Leviathan. I know we've encountered Blood Fiends before, like in Ruina, you know, with those two, but
And Distortion Detective.
I haven't read that.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of wondering how Dawn becomes Sancho, and I guess this fits more. This fits better than what I had in mind. Wow. I don't even know what to think right now, dude. Let's finish this. Because clearly there's no mirror dungeon at the end of this one. Sometime later. I knew that the sinners would be all shocked and confused. After all, they, including Faust and Don Quixote, all came back to life after I rewound the clock. All that remained was the destroyed door and the freight car and the disgusting obliterated remains of what was once Cassetti. Wow, you were spot on. When did you even have the time to notice that? Oh boy. I remember everything, of course. Don Quixote's sudden transformation, how she practically erased the Blood Fiend and his kindred from the world without even moving a finger. But also, I remember Faust's last words. You know that the other sinners must never hear a word about... Don Quixote was unconscious, and Faust was answering every question with silence. It was only natural that their eyes would fall on me. Ryoshu! Ah! That one was good.
Penny.
Faust explained the simpler gist of this plan as we made our way to the back door. Put it simply, we spent time at a space disconnected from the train. Train should be arriving at its destination in approximately 10 seconds, going by the A-Corp timescale. All we must do is remain somewhere in our original dimension for that duration. And with that, Faust came to a sudden stop in the middle of one of the corridors. Yes, this door. Safety. Oh, Leslie's tell us what's past that door. I did not bother verifying that particular information myself. It is necessary for future endeavors that I gain the experience of encountering something. Oi! Wait! Faust did not wait for Heathcliff to finish his sentence before jerking that door wide open. Now please, enter through this door. Faust's stern command, we quickly walked into a building that looked like a derelict abandoned hospital of sorts. Five, four, sorry. Managed to return safe and sound. The interiors of the warp train as it arrived at E-Corp. As the train was still getting cleaned up, that is. And with our bodies completely covered in sand. We were so happy to be done with this whole ordeal that not even the W Corp cleanup agents in the middle of the cleanup mission looked downright hospitable. Okay. Wow, that one guy! No! Why did you do that? Faust's body was quite literally blasted to pieces from the sheer explosive pressure that filled the room the moment Dawn's shoes came off. It was as though she knew it was going to happen. I do find it regrettable that you were made to turn the clock despite my knowledge of the high likelihood of my death upon that occurrence. That is... oh. Return. That was a layered word, yeah. Oh gosh. Cool. Faust. Reconnected to Faust has returned. What? The incident at the warp chain was such a chaotic mess that it felt shorter than it really was, but I also learned so much about so many things. But it was about too soon to start racking our brains with what kind of nonsense trial we were about to face in P-Corp, so I decided to enjoy this momentary peace. Chiquita. Sinners looked at Dawn's bewildered awakening, grinning. There's no way to know what we'll be facing here at District 16, where P-Corp was located, but we got this, right? Same faith I saw in Faust, who believes in uncertainty rises within me, too. I looked up to Faust, only to see that Faust was looking at me as well. She nodded at me with her usual, barely noticeable smile. I gave her a light nod back in return. Time to find ourselves another Golden Bough.
Hey gamers, if you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And other than that, have a great day everyone. Bye!